Alright, I have no idea how the volume is once again. Oh shit, I should have checked last time.
I mean, it sounded fine on the VOD you put on YouTube last time.
Okay, that's good.
Because I watched it, so...
See, I'm in a loud-ass chair. So, you're gonna be hearing chair noises. And
It's fine.
as per usual, I can't hear the game. So, well, not as per usual, but as per usual as of one stream ago. Oh my god.
Was it an anonymously long loading time there?
Yeah, I mean, Max's thing will probably cut out. Or Max's internet will probably cut out a few times maybe, so if you hear that,
I got the blubber in the rotation.
yeah, it's, I think it's my favorite salmon run weapon, I'm gonna be real. I know there's like the Explosion and the, you know, what's it called? The one that goes through things. The Grisco Slosher, but,
Yeah.
I think that one's just the one I enjoy using the most, I guess.
That's fair.
Even if it's not as useful as those two. I would say that's probably, I don't know. You know, I never really thought about tiering the salmon run weapons.
A new project.
Maybe. You should do it. I know how much you hate tier, so it would be funny.
Brush S rank.
Yeah, sure. It's so weird. There's like no... There's nothing. There's no sound. It's just dead.
I feel like that's... I got the question, does Max do any like recording or streaming
Nope.
shit? Or is...
I'm like, hey Max, do you have a mic? Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get OBS all set up for you and stuff. And so I assumed he had a mic. He's like, no, I have a shitty mic. And then he showed it to me when I was here, and it was just a headset. I'm like,
I mean, yeah, but fair play to him to like actually go out and get OBS and shit.
and then he did a test stream. Yeah, it was nice. And he's like, you need me to install any games on Steam? And I'm like, no, not really. I don't really play games on Steam at the moment. And then, you know, he kept asking, and I'm like, no, I don't. I really don't. I promise. Maybe OJ, that's it. But yeah, so now I took my mic off of the mic stand, and thank God I still had the screws and the, like, desk stand for this mic. So now I'm using that. And I don't have my, my little penis head thing for the mic, so it might sound more tart. I have the thing.
It doesn't sound more tart, but you can tell you're like in a different room. You can hear it in like the ambience.
Interesting. Can you hear all the noises outside?
It's not so much the noises and like you can hear your voice, I guess, echo in the room a bit.
Sounds about right, because
it's that sound of like a bigger, you're in a bigger room basically.
no, I don't think it's bigger. It's just
or
the fact
in a
that
more empty room.
yeah, my room, it's more Max's room is more empty and mine's carpeted, so his is hardwood. Is your room hardwood floor?
Underneath the carpet.
Oh, you have a carpet. Okay, good. I hate I'm living in this house and I hate how everything is hardwood. Everything.
I can't stand a hardwood floor. Like I would get annoyed walking on that.
Yeah,
I need this shit to be carpeted.
It creaks and shit, and I feel like the floor is dirtier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my main concern. Is like a carpet, even if it is technically dirtier, would hide it.
Yeah, exactly.
The benefit of carpets. And also some carpets just absorb all stains and fluids and shit just so easily. And you just never have to worry about it.
I forget if I mentioned this last stream, but Max has like turny stairs, like they turn at a 90-degree angle.
Stairs, no railing.
Yeah, they have no. Well, they do have a railing, but like, you know, once it curves, it doesn't really. And then like on top of that, it's all hardwood. So yeah. I'm like, you know, I should take my socks off because I feel like I'm gonna slip. But at the same time, it's like, if I take my socks off, then I won't feel right because I'm in someone else's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just taking the L. I feel like, you know, in the 24 hours I'm gonna remain here or whatever, I'm gonna slip at some point.
Just go up on all fours.
No. I do grab onto the, like, because it's a curved stair, so you can kind of grab onto the floor of the top floor once you get near the top.
Yeah.
I do that, but that's gross because I'm touching the floor. So
Personally, I've never actually used the revolver in an actual like just regular gameplay match yet.
wow. Well, you had your chance last week, bitch.
I still have chances. I can just play it.
No, you can only play during the Splatfest. Sorry. You know, speaking of the Splatfest, Forks versus Spoons is live. I am not gonna play it. Maybe I will though. I'm kind of getting bored, but
you don't have Super Mario Odyssey on tap.
I mean, I was kind of thinking of it, but so there's actually another wrinkle in this argument, if you can believe that.
Is it?
There's a third wrinkle in this argument that can be contrived, you know?
Is it chopsticks?
No! Shut up. Shut up. Oh, you think you're so clever like all the people in the lobby. Fuck you. No, it's not that. I watched the footage again.
Nice?
No, I watched the footage again because someone was streaming Splatoon, I think. And, you know, the announcement came on. And... was I reading it? I don't remember. The verdict is though that spoons. Oh right, I was watching someone and they were talking about it. Spoons can be used for anything a fork can, more or less.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if you're eating pasta, you can still eat it with a spoon, even if it's fucking gross.
Awkward, but you can do it.
It's so gross. You feel like the texture on the spoon. Ugh. But it could still be done.
Shit on the spoon.
So now the question is like. Are we asking about the versatility? Or there, because you know that's science.
That would factor in.
That's scientifically like you can scientifically prove that. That can be proven. That's not a matter of opinion. But all we have to go off of is are you as adamant about using forks as Pearl? That's all they gave us, which is terrible.
I like how you want them to have like full-on thesis essays about.
I don't want them to. I feel like if they're gonna present a salmon run that's as obtuse as this one, they better have an explanation ready.
I made you say the wrong thing.
What?
I said salmon run by accident, and then you also repeated salmon run.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's how it goes. Why you play salmon on Splatfest? Because I don't play the main game. Yeah, maybe.
Chat working for you because it seems to be dead for me.
I was thinking it'd be the other way around. So like I don't know. I'm like if it was still my pick, I would say fork for the reason I gave before, which is it's just eating with a fork is just easier. So I prefer that. But I don't know if that's the correct thing. And really, I don't even know what the less popular team is. Like I might.
I only assume it's Marinos.
I'm gonna watch a I'm gonna watch a stream maybe. Just some random stream if no one's gonna go live with it, and probably use that to divine it, and then just pick the less popular team. But if not, I'm probably gonna pick just Team Fork and hope that it loses popularity.
I can see you random boy now. Hello. I walk forward too much for it.
It doesn't seem like this thing would have this much DPS.
It has a fuck ton of DPS, like 2 volleys, and they're really fast volleys, just wipes out steelheads, for instance.
That gets me every time because they're bubbles, you know?
Yeah.
And Bubble Beam in Pokemon is a terrible move, so maybe I was conditioned. Bubble Beam is just a worse water gun, what are you talking about?
Bubble Beam is like 85 health, what the fuck
are you No, no it's not!
Yes it is! Water gun is also like 40 VP, what the fuck are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
You're talking about Bubble.
What?
You're talking about Bubble.
So, okay, so the geniuses at Game Freak made a move called Bubble, and then a move called Bubble Beam.
And a version called Bubble Beam, yes.
That's so stupid. Why aren't bubbles as power? I don't understand. It's the same thing.
Oh man, like why is like fucking Thundershock exist when Thunderbolt exists? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't because it's lightning, not thunder. Please, someone have an egg now.
No.
You know what, I have a bowl. Sorry for the loud keyboard. This is Max's fault.
You know, like Bubble Beam is like really good though because like I used a Starmie for a while when I had like backdoor Pokemon, and it just you would just give it Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt, and then it would just destroy everything.
He has a power of 65, you garbage man. You garbage man. How much is Water Gun?
65.
Water Gun is 40? What?
Yeah, Water Gun's piss.
That's so stupid. What am I thinking of?
It's a baby beginner move. I don't know what you're thinking.
What? Bubble Beam was a baby beginner move, and then water in my head that is, and then Water Gun was the upgrade. Bubble has a power of 42, 20 in generations 1 to 5.
Better than you.
What are you talking about?
Just the sheer like breeding and all that shit. You paid attention to this stuff more than I have.
No, I didn't. Because the only water move that anyone ever puts on competitive Pokemon is Hydro Pump and Waterfall. That's it. You think I have time to pay attention to Water Gun and Bubble Beam? The only time those ever showed up is Pokemon wants to learn, but Bubble Beam. They want to teach it? Nope.
Why would you teach it though? Bubble Beam is like
because Hydro Pump is on the way and it's better.
It really isn't though.
I mean, that's up for debate.
The vaunted Bolt Beam coverage. That was the whole thing.
What the fuck do you mean Bolt Beam? What are you talking about?
That was the Smogon like nickname for like Pokemon that use both Thunderbolt and Bolt Beam, because they're both like equally powered, strong moves, water and electric types, so they hit everything in the game. You have one or the other, you cover basically everything.
Or if you have Hydro Pump, you cover everything in the game more.
Except for stuff that completely absorbs and resists water.
Well, Gavin, same with your stupid Bubble Beam.
That's
You know what? I'm not accepting Bubble Beam as a usable move. There has to be like an 80 power water move that isn't Waterfall. That
Well, no, because it's a special one. And
isn't
no special.
I know. That's what I'm saying. There has to be a special equivalent that's 80
an
power.
accuracy problem that Bubble Beam doesn't. Like, part of their point is like,
Bubble Beam fucking sucks. Okay?
Sure, you could get.
It sucks.
I'm not even talking about that right now. You could get the same utility out of using Thunder over Thunderbolt. Sure, they have like the same. If you use both Thunder and Hydro Pump, you'd have the same thing. Except what they have in power, they lack in accuracy.
I'm pretty sure that
the Bolt Beam main thing is reliability.
Hydro Pump has more accuracy than Thunder. Well, Gavin, I mean Kyogre, so
Here's the thing, though. It still has an accuracy problem.
I know it still has an accuracy problem, but I mean, it seems that all of the competitive Pokemon heads don't seem to think that that's as big of a problem as you do. And who am I gonna trust? The people who play this game for a living, or Gavin, who hasn't played in years?
Get like stuck in this in your team, though.
Well, Gavin, that's the problem with every competitive game. So,
depends on the competitive game.
How versatile do you think Splatoon is? I feel like they're high-tier weapons. Hey, can you hear that?
Hear what?
Okay, good. The city has so much fucking noise. Like, there are kids, there are cars, there are motorcycles, there are motorbikes, mopeds, people walking, dogs barking.
I live in the suburbs and I still have all that shit, so... I don't know, man. I think you just live in a quiet neighborhood.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm just saying, this is insane. And then at night, people are blasting music in the city.
I also have that.
I'm like, but it's in the city. In the
fucking like weekend like raves in the warehouses like my back.
In my neighborhood, I think that's not as bad because it's like a neighborhood. The houses are split up and stuff. In the city, you have like 80 people on one block, every block, that are being affected by your loud music. Like, what are you doing? There's just so many fucking noises. I'm ready to go home, man. It's actually not as bad as I thought. I mean, really, I'm just kind of...
talk like the city like you're from the country.
I mean, it's funny because I was like, it'd be kind of cool to live in the city.
It's certainly a lot handier in a number of ways. If I lived in the city, like in the city center, I would just take like 20 minutes to get to work at most. So it would be like a no-brainer.
Uh-oh, this isn't good.
That's fine.
Good thing Chris exists. Yeah, that's
yes. What are you saying?
I was gonna say, it hasn't been that bad. Like, I was talking about how stressed I was and shit.
Yeah.
Not really. It's not really that bad. Maybe it's because I haven't been really, like, the dog hasn't been walking that far, so. Oh, speaking of, she finally took her first shit after 2 days.
Yay.
And it was huge. It couldn't fit in one bag.
It's amazing. What is a big dog, isn't it?
Oh my god, yeah, it's a big dog, and when she pooped with Max around, it was also big, but this was like twice as big as that. And that was bigger than any dog shit I've ever seen. And I
you're just going mega robot.
Oh, am I? Oh well. Hopefully that. Well, they can't be doing that on the recording. So.
Beep boop.
Whatever. You know what? Maybe it's a good thing. Because I'm talking about fucking poop. Oh no, that's not good.
I hope you're enjoying this, stream viewers, but I can't hear.
Okay, well, maybe I should have hosted the call, bitch.
I think you said the word bitch. I'm not
Of all the words for him to have heard, that is probably the best one. So is someone dead? What? They're in the wall?
What are you doing? Discord's fully connected too, so it's just your end.
God damn it! I mean, it's probably Max's internet, if I had to guess. Oh, I don't even have to, but we already win. Cool. I'm running. Bump it. You guys get the eggs in. I'm gonna focus on surviving. Well, how are we supposed to talk about things when this is happening? It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, I should have used the jet. Whoops. Classic. So was he just not in the call anymore, or what? No, he is. Oh, that's odd. Should we just leave the call and come back, maybe? Maybe that worked? Hold on, it's still connecting. Am I even still streaming? That's a good question. Once again, I don't have control of the... Oh no, I'm probably not even streaming. I don't have control of the main window, so it could be anything, really.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, because I left and reconnected and then took a while to connect. Well, if it works now, then...
Maybe.
Sure, let's go for it. Yeah, normally I have a notepad document with topics to talk about, but
yes,
I'm not at home.
I have one.
So, really all I had was the Splatfest, because I was, I'm heated about that. I ain't about to forget that. Shut! Horns honking. That's why so many people fucking honk horns around here. It's like, get over yourself. Jesus Christ.
Alright, well, I have one, so... I guess for starters, we'll start with a bit of like house cleaning from last week. You said you wanted to talk about Resident Evil.
What?
7.
I don't know if I want to.
Talk about... Why not?
I don't know. Spoilers.
No one gives a shit.
People give a shit. It was one of the biggest games of... When did it come out? Last year. Somehow.
Well, if you do, spoiler warning, it's going to be spoken about now, right?
What? Go. No, I don't want to put a... we can talk about it without spoilers.
Alright, we'll talk about it without spoilers then.
I mean, there's really not much to say about it, because there's not much going on in the game itself. You know? Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Yep. Dime a dozen, honestly. I don't even know if I'm using that expression correctly.
Kinda, because it means like there's a lot of them.
Last night, I just learned what, murder in cold blood means, so...
I saw that and I kind of laughed, because I don't know how you didn't know what that meant. I felt like that would have been common enough in, like, media, at least.
It is common in media, but no one ever says what it means. Like, the thing is, it's just synonymous with murder. You know what I mean?
I mean, to do anything in cold blood is just to imply a cold, calculated callousness about it. Like,
well,
there's no passion. This wasn't done because of anger or fury. It was just done because.
I mean, I was just thinking about it. It kind of just means nothing. If I've been living my life completely fine, misinterpreting it, like...
No, it has a very distinct meaning. I just described it.
I know, I'm just saying, like... maybe it's not as like
It doesn't mean nothing, man, does it?
it's not as like what am I? You can you can live life without. It's just kind of extraneous, I guess, is the word, right?
I mean, so are most of these things.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know why this one is special in that regard.
Because I didn't understand it until yesterday.
Right.
Because
Anyway,
it could have just meant anything.
Resident Evil 7. Right.
Speaking of murder, except not really. Well, actually not. Well, kind of. Kind of.
Kind of.
I don't know.
Do you have an opinion on the video game?
I mean, I know you didn't like it. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that classic Gavin not liking popular video games again. Gavin pushing his hipster agenda and then calling me, having
the previous ones were fucking better. I'm sorry.
Having
But
the
here's thing,
gall.
with Resident Evil 7, it wasn't like, well, this is a complete evolutionary data and I want it to go away. I do feel like they could do something good with Resident Evil 7's framework. It just needs better execution. I feel like there is a good foundation there. It just wasn't executed the best, probably because of the slightly schizophrenic development as it evolved out of just a throwaway VR demo.
But, you know, some people got a lot of time out of that demo. Some might say that the demo was better than the full game.
I would reject that outright. But
What?
there's no what about it.
Don't
The
you-
demo
don't-
was
don't
just
you
wandering
remember?
around an empty house doing fucking nothing.
Exactly! But there was so much
exactly.
mystery. People
Except
were...
there was like the mysteries there was no denouement. There was nothing to solve because there was just nothing at the end point.
But,
So
you
like,
know,
if
it
anything it had is just gone.
felt like an ARG, you know?
Also, all the ARG aspect shit had actually no relevance to the final game at all.
I know,
So-
but, you know, it was fun. You know, like, doing Salmon Run isn't gonna ultimately do anything for... Oh my god. But it's fun.
Debatable.
Did you even beat it?
I beat it, yeah.
Wow, I feel sorry for you. How
Why's
long
that?
did it take?
I mean, like, pretty standard, like, honestly, like, I don't know, like, 8, 9, 10 hour runtime.
Yeah, I feel like only maybe...
It was like, I don't remember exactly how long, but it was like a very standard runtime. It was like, usual.
I feel like maybe only like 1 hour of that game is... The first hour of that game is interesting, and then the rest of it is a boring slog. And then it somehow becomes even more boring when you reach the ship part. That just goes on forever.
I would more or less agree with that, yeah.
And then at the end, there's like kind of an interesting
Although the ship
thing.
part doesn't go on forever if you're like not a bumbling idiot. I won't say that much.
I don't know. Yeah, like, you know, I haven't played it. I watched NL play it.
Yeah, that was kind of my point because I don't remember the ship section being any longer than any other section.
I mean, did you watch him? Well, you know, the thing
I
is...
haven't watched him play it yet, but
I think
I'm just speaking from my own experience. I don't remember that being actually all that long.
I mean, I think the thing is when you say it's as long as every other segment, that's probably true. But by that point in the game, I'm just like so bored with it that it probably just felt even more boring than the other ones. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Also, like, nothing in that... Like, isn't Resident Evil supposed to be scary? I have never, like, actually...
To be honest, that's genuinely debatable.
Okay, because I never looked at any...
Resident Evil scared me as a child, and I remember when I, like, played Resident Evil 5 with my brother's kid. He was like 14, 15. Like, he's only ever, like, played stuff like Call of Duty, so when you play Resident Evil 5 and then like fucking multi-winged fanged like virus demons tore their way out of a man's back in front of his eyes, blood spurting everywhere, he just kind of visibly jumped. And as I just kind of sat there completely just fucking attuned to this shit, and that just made me go like, man, I must be kind of fucked up, right?
I mean, I was gonna say, I haven't, you know, watched any Resident Evil games before, but
Yeah.
I actually have. I have watched Resident Evil 4. I don't remember how much. It was a while ago. Let's see. What do I remember about Resident Evil 4? I remember... Help me, Leon!
Resident
Help!
Evil 4 is also like a very unfair comparison because Resident Evil 4 is a goddamn bad
Yeah,
shit
apparently,
out of a game.
apparently it's the best one.
I would agree with that.
I remember that. I remember a minecart segment.
Yep.
And is there a segment that's like in Sonic Adventure where you have to move lights into mirrors to light up the room or something like that?
There are like puzzles about moving lights and mirrors. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember a room with that. Probably because I made a joke about it being Sonic Adventure. But
Yeah, you've only played like 3 games.
that's not true. Yeah, that's all I remember about Resident Evil 4, so it's relatively shallow. So let's just say that I haven't watched a Resident Evil game, because I really don't remember any of the enemies or anything.
I mean, that was one of the major things I had complained about Resident Evil 7, was that there's basically only one enemy.
Yeah, and it's ugly and stupid and not interesting.
I mean, they're meant to be ugly, that's the point.
No, but like, ugly. Not cool ugly, boring ugly. They're just they're just a texture.
There's the black blob of shite with some spooky teeth on them.
Yeah, they're just a texture, and it's like, ugh. Well, isn't there? Well, no, there are more enemies. There are the bugs, which.
Okay, so there's like 2 enemies.
I have a fear of bugs, so that part actually got me when like the spiders jump on you, and then like you look at your arm and they're on the arm, and then they're like big bug bites. I'm like,
that was one thing I liked, was the visual detail and how fucked up you get.
Yeah, it's like I hate.
Like, you get like slashed by enemy claws and all your hands like all fucked up and sliced and shit and everything. Like, it's mad. Like, I love that. I love that like visual detail. And it nails the visuals. Like, that's one thing you can't deny. Like, it's very like it visually nails it.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know. It didn't really seem that advanced, except for like, you know, the
people.
people.
It, like, it's not so much advanced as it is just well done. Like, for instance, like even on like PS4, that's a completely smooth 1080p 60. Like, no, it doesn't frame drop, doesn't stagger, never once like pauses or anything. Completely perfectly smooth. Like, that's, you know, like, it's like a level of like technical mastery you rarely see out of AAA games, which is tragic to say, but it's true. Like, you know, fucking God of War couldn't hold a stable frame rate and it runs at 30.
They're like,
and that's on a PS4 Pro.
I guess. I remember there were like the bug enemies that like fly in front of you. Those look like the worst enemy in video games. Like, honestly, like not even a fun challenge, just an annoying challenge.
I wouldn't even call them a challenge. Like, I guess to spoil me on this, I guess, did NL realize he should use the knife on those?
Kind of. He primarily used the flamethrower, which I figured is what you were supposed to use.
That was. If it's on like the big standard days, that's a waste of that.
Well, whatever, you know.
I mean, this is part of the Resident Evil loop, is that you have to conserve what you've got, and you need to like make smart decisions and use the right tools to fight the right things. You don't use like a shotgun on one standalone zombie. That's a fucking waste. On the horde of zombies, you use it, you aim upwards, and you watch all the heads explode.
Well, there weren't really hordes of zombies in this one.
No, there weren't, but that's like classic. It's the thing of like, I know like one of the things you want to do is like play like classic series or games you haven't played because you didn't have the consoles for them. I do feel like maybe you shouldn't do Resident Evil. I know you're not interested.
I'm not interested. What did I say? I said
like even if you get to like the end, like, you know, you're coming to like the end of a predetermined list or whatever, you go like, maybe. Just don't. I feel like they would not be your thing at all.
I said there was Metal Gear Solid, and then I said something was even below that. What was that?
That was Resident Evil. Even below
was it?
That. Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say Resident Evil would be even below whatever that was.
No, that was just Resident Evil.
I mean, if anything, I'd probably only play Resident Evil 4, since that sounds like the only one that's worth my time. Maybe even the Resident Evil 2 remake, I guess.
No,
if it's good.
No, don't play that.
What? But we all know if the remake's bad. Ah!
I'm not saying it'll be bad. I actually think it'll be quite fucking good. Because it's like, it's styling itself as like a mix of like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil old style, which sounds fucking rad. And they clearly have Capcom, of like the developers of are finally being given the chance to do things right, apparently, because it looks great and seems by all accounts to play great. But no, like, my point is, like, classical Resident Evil, I feel, is not your style at all. It's very meticulous about like solving obscure puzzles.
Inventory management.
Like inventory management.
The worst part. Oh my god.
It's also about mastering like a very esoteric and oddball system of controls, movement, and like fighting that all actually work quite well, but you need to know how to do them. For instance, like Resident Evil, like genuinely, like the old Resident Evil games are actually really good speedrunning games because they're all you can optimize the living fuck out of like, your paths, your movement, your way through rooms. Like there's like there actually is like a lot of technical mastery to moving and fighting in them.
Yeah, I never told you.
Because like this is where Devil May Cry spawned out of. So like, you know, like there's like a lot of good there's mechanical. It's just I don't feel like it's your thing. You know, because it basically it's an asshole about it. Anyway, you're going to say.
Say that remind me, I never told you about how Resident Evil 7 has like you can open doors to go back to previous areas.
Yeah.
Like it's like Dark Souls.
Resident Evil 1 did that.
I don't know.
There's no, I don't know. Resident Evil 1 did that. Your joke falls flat.
Well, that's fine because I can just say that Resident Evil 1 ripped off of Dark Souls. And then you could be like,
I'm
it
sure
came out.
some,
But it came
I'm
out
sure
first.
some mutant has. It's like I don't doubt some fucking mutant somewhere has said that.
It came out first. That doesn't matter in these jokes.
It really
In
doesn't.
fact, that's the point.
That's the point. Yeah,
That's
they do
the
say
joke.
shit like that. They do say shit like that. Did you see like a Gamescom? Like there was an article. The way it was titled was like someone was asking about Tenchu, but
Who?
the article led with the quote: "Tenchu is like an old stealth series from software." So they were like, someone was asking if they're going to make a Tenchu game, but like the article decided to lead with the header of "There will be no more Dark Souls." So it looked like From Software was going. Someone was going to ask them an innocent question about anything, and they just responded, "No Dark Souls. Shut up. Fuck off."
I think I saw
And
that.
if to be honest, if they were like that, I don't think that at all. I really don't.
And then they release Bloodborne 2 and say, it's not Dark Souls.
I mean, if they do release a Bloodborne 2, because Sony paid us.
It'll be because everyone fucking plays it, apparently.
I mean,
Sick of
it's
it.
a big, multi-million selling video game is.
I'm sick of it. Everyone should have played it like a year ago at least, and then, you know, we'd be
It came out
done.
like 3-4 years ago.
Whatever. It should have been played then.
It was.
Not now.
I think it's just one of those like high-flying things where someone starts playing it and then their friends start
Yeah.
playing it and they're all streamers. That means other people start playing it.
Exactly. I have had it. I want to watch streams, man. Just see, alright, going live with Bloodborne and some other game you can't watch. And I'm like,
Bloodborne and Fortnite.
No, it's not Fortnite. It's just like, you know, another game that I want to maybe play in the future.
You want to maybe play Bloodborne?
Maybe, you know? It's like a Metal Gear Solidism.
At least I'll be able to help you.
It's worth a shot. No backseating, Gavin.
It's not even backseat. Like, if you just can't like fucking progress, it's like Gavin coming in and fight the boss for me.
This isn't Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Yeah, actually, you know what? There were parts in between in Resident Evil
yeah.
7 that were interesting.
Like,
Because, you know, I said once you get to the main hall, it gets boring. But then there's like...
I would disagree with that. I think like everything in the first house is just fine.
Oh,
that's
then it's
very,
like you go in rooms, it's like you have to find dog heads or some shit, and I'm like, okay.
Well, welcome to Resident Evil, man. that's the gameplay. Like, you find keys to put in doors.
But there are like no enemies around. Ever.
Well, that's different for this one. Like in regular Resident Evil, there'd be like a zombie every room. And
Yeah,
you just have to,
that's what would make it interesting. In this, there's nothing. You're just walking around the house and be like, oh, this in here? No.
It's also part of the RNG because your man is meant to turn up and just spook you at once.
I don't know if that's through the whole thing though.
He hears and then leaps out and like starts trying to attack you, and he's like,
Booga
escape.
booga booga.
He genuinely does that one, but he comes out and goes, boo.
Yeah. That's a part of the game I like, which is why I like the first part of it. And then it just kind of doesn't really happen. And then there's like this angry lady, like that happens later on in the game. But then she's just like,
I'm mixed on her lines, but I fucking love that.
you son of a bitch! Fuck you, bitch! Fuck ass! Shit! Fuck! And they're like, okay, calm
her
down.
voice actress. Her voice actress is just so able to project hatred.
Yeah, the voice is good, but the lines are like, can you like stop? Like, come on.
You fucking shitcock, she says at one point, and I was like, alright. I mean, to be fair, it does sound like an old lady trying to swear and be threatened.
Really, it's just like, the whole idea is that it's like, welcome to the family. But there's only ever really like the old dude, and then he shows up 50 times. How about instead of that, you make an extended
Also,
family?
like, the sun just fucking vanishes after his
Yeah,
segment.
he vanishes for like 3/4 of the game, then shows up for something.
Like, I don't mind that so much because the idea was, each family member is the like boss of an area. All right, fair enough. Like, so he's not going to appear until like 75% in season 3rd one. All right, fair enough. It's just that after you're done, like, you don't even get a fight or like a denouement with him. He just goes away.
Yeah.
You just never see him again.
And the funny thing is, you just do the same puzzle again with him, so his
Yeah.
segment's even weaker.
Well,
Like, what
I
were
mean,
they thinking?
I like that section where like you do it by videotape, you work it out, and then you have to like work out how to subvert it. In that.
But you don't subvert it. That's what I was expecting to be fun. You don't subvert it. You just know the combination to the lock. He doesn't even say anything when you put it in without solving it.
No, it's not. It's not that. Like, the subversion is the fact that you avoid the death trap.
But you kind of don't. You can't move once.
Though, because you avoid the death trap. The whole point is you do things in such a way that the oil or wine or whatever doesn't fall out and burn the room.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, like that's what the death trap is. Like you need to you take out the wine, like the cork in the wine barrel, and that fucks you over without you realizing. That was the whole trick, the death trap.
Oh, okay. It just kind of seemed like
the solution is that you have to find a way of getting that cork out, and like somehow like preventing fire from touching it or preventing the room going on fire.
All right, so
the way you do that is by re-rigging the fucking. You basically rig a way for you to escape it without being like, you can extend out the fire or whatever. I forget exactly how it goes, but that's the point.
Here's how I'm gonna justify myself. Basically, I just kind of thought it was the same, but then it suddenly didn't work for you because you're the protagonist. So then
I think this is because you weren't playing the game yourself.
Well, no, but I was watching. Here's where I justify myself. You played the first, you play it initially with a black and white camera. So you pull the cork out, and then it's like this kind of dark liquid comes out. It could be anything. Yeah. It could be swamp water. I don't know it's oil. I don't know it's flammable, and it doesn't splay across the room at all, which is where all the fire comes in.
Okay, well, two things. One, that doesn't really matter because the point is you're not meant to know until it goes on fire. Then you realize, oh fuck.
I thought it was just the house is wooden, so of course it goes on fire.
Two, it does splay over the floor.
Does it?
You can actually sit there and watch it spread across the room. It does. Like, it visibly does.
Okay, then NL probably just didn't look down the entire time.
NL probably didn't just look. Like, that's the thing. You kind of have to, like, notice it.
Like, it just looked like it was, like, a small puddle, and then when he looked down at it, it wasn't expanding at all, so I'm like, alright.
No, like, it's always just expanding after the moment you take the cork out. Like, it's basically always just flooding.
No, but he did look, he's like, uh-oh. Like, and they looked down, it wasn't moving, and I was like, okay.
He's moving. It just
you know how video games are.
Like, it doesn't happen instantaneously because it's like a controlled flow, but it is happening.
Okay, well that's a little better, but I was thinking, like, what they should have done is, how like Luigi's Mansion has like 50,000 family members? They should have just done...
Only some of them are a family.
I know, but like, even then, something like that would have been more interesting, and it would have fit with the theming, spoilers. It would have fit with how, what the whole plot of the game is. Where it's like, okay, we got it. Well, it's not even really spoilers, because it's like, welcome to the family. That's the whole meme. They're basically taking strangers.
The is who's doing it.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's not spoilers to say they're taking strangers and making them a part of their family. So why not just make it so that they stole like 20 strangers and then gave them all a role or something? Have a family dog.
I imagine part of it is that, you would then have to like write for, voice, and model 20 distinct enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Bosses,
but hey, you know what?
Which is more than they had the budget for. You have to remember, this is a Capcom at a point where they were still kind of broke before Monster Hunter World sold all the millions in the world.
Thank God it did.
But now Capcom has money again, so
it's such a wasted thing, I think. Because the dad it's kind of annoying after a point, Because he's not dead. He's never dead. So, okay, now we're getting into spoilers. Whatever. Fuck it. I'm mad. He's never dead.
Not spoilers, because like, again, welcome to Resident Evil. But I mean, most of the people you're fighting are like in Resident Evil are like extreme mutant people who don't die the first time you wreck them.
When the mom showed up, I'm like, fucking finally. And then the dad shows up again afterwards anyway, and I'm like, oh my god. And it wasn't even the final fight, that was like halfway in the game. It presented itself as a final fight, and the fight was terrible. It looked absolutely terrible. Like, what the fuck?
I disagree with that. It was like a pretty standard fight.
Let's have two eyes that are like nearly impossible to hit. No, thank you.
I'm beginning to think I now just sucked hard at
No,
that
it looked...
I didn't have any problems with that.
It looked bad.
Pretty standard to me.
Like, there's a weak point under the tail, and then there's like a weak point kind of near it.
You lure him up on top. And
yeah, I know, and then you go to the bottom. That's tedious and annoying.
It's not tedious at all.
And then you have to start the whole fight over if you
shoot it once with like a powered bullet, and then.
Oh my god! And then the second phase. Fuck! Like, come on, man.
The second phase is just a race against time. So that is kind of shit.
It's stupid. And then that's it for, you know, him. It's like, oh my god. Fuck you. At least the, like, you know... There should have just been more death chambers for the sun, too, or something. There was only, like, one.
Yeah.
Make it, like, a mini portal thing or something.
You could have done, like, one or two, like, simpler ones, and then you end on the trick one where you need to watch the video, too.
Yeah. So I kind of wish the AI was smarter. You can juke them so easily, like, I mean, you know.
Like, we're kind of talking again about like, one of the points of old Resident Evil was the AI isn't like ultimately complex or anything. You can like optimize movement and like cheekily like just directly walk through them if you like, time everything right and know what you're doing. You kind of take after that, and I feel like in that sense they work just fine. My main problems like Resident Evil 7's gameplay are like, aside from what we talked about, is it's like basically the gunplay is just shit. The combat is just pretty generally shit. For instance, like the block thing is like the block thing is something I could never get my head around because it's just you hold up your arms and somehow you can block a spike the size of your fucking
Exactly! Arm. That's so stupid. Like, oh my god, we didn't even talk about the method of healing. Is that in every Resident Evil game?
I mean, in past Resident Evil games, it was just a big nondescript you've eaten a herb.
Yeah, because in this game, it's like the funniest animation of all time, where you pour water on your hand, and then that heals your whole body. Oh my god!
Juices all over your hand, yeah.
Sorry, there are spoilers. Like his arms cut off.
That's like in the first like 20 minutes.
And then he pours it on the stove.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it fixes up the stunt.
It's just like, oh my, and then, you know, he can reattach his leg. I'm like, well, whatever, that makes sense.
That is actually an optional scene, that bit.
Oh, well, it works.
When I played, I got it, but David never knew about it until I told him about it. See, he just didn't get it.
Were you talking about how fucking asinine it is? Because...
asinine?
Yeah, like, it fits in this place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's meant to be like the hellish fucked up world, yeah.
But still, it's funny because it's just so dumb.
Like, all I can keep saying like stuff like that is welcome to Resident Evil.
Oh, we don't have enough eggs.
Resident Evil is not like, this isn't Silent Hill, this is not like spooky proper horror game series, this is a corny action game series, really.
Wait, is Silent Hill the series with the meme image of the dog jumping at the person? Oh yeah, there's like the dude reading the doghouse sign and it says a dog must live here.
And then there's just like a mutant dog beside him.
Yeah, just lunging at him. That's
Silent Hill. That's Silent Hill 1.
Okay, I mixed Resident Evil and Silent Hill up a lot because I thought that was Resident Evil.
Nah.
There are only like 3 weapons in Resident Evil 7, and one of them is completely useless out of the bug section of the game. Oh my god, the boss for the bug section of the game. What the fuck were they thinking? Also, it doesn't even make any sense. Because you're taught, use the fire on the bug's nest, and then there's a bug's nest in the boss, but you're actually supposed to use the fire first and then shoot the bug's nest. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, that's how they all work. Like, you actually, like, the fastest way to kill them is spreading a bit of fire to break the outer armor and then shoot them.
But they're bugs. Oh, that reminds me of a tweet I didn't make.
We're talking about the nest, not the bugs themselves.
But they're bugs in there.
Just fucking break it.
Oh yeah, I don't have sound. So I heard that through yours, thankfully.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, I can't hear anything, so...
I forgot about that, Deco, actually.
this is like the only way where it's really important, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like the pistol, the shotgun, and the flamethrower, and then one really cool weapon for one boss fight.
Launcher.
Oh, the grenade launcher, right? But that's like too good to use syndrome.
And the Magnum.
The Magnum? Isn't that a pistol or something?
No, it's a Magnum.
I'm not very good with guns, but isn't it a kind of pistol? Or am
I mean, it's a giant fuck-off handgun that's like extremely.
Okay, that's a pistol to me.
No, but like pistol is like this distinct standard little handgun that you shoot. A Magnum is like you have 10 bullets in the entire game, and it just fucking like they one shot at regular guns. Save them for bosses.
Really, they should have just made it Luigi's Mansion 2. It's 3.
Something with my shit in the bathroom.
Yo, imagine if Nintendo did that. The Simon Belmont trailer is just a teaser that no one knew about. And for Luigi's Mansion 3, which is like Resident Evil 7. Except
Luigi gets his arm cut off and has to pour water over it.
I mean, he dies, so I think it's possible. Yeah, he needs to get a mushroom.
Speaking of Nintendo, that's a great segue. There's a Nindies Direct next week, like Tuesday, I think.
Yawn.
It's for unannounced indie games as opposed to the giant sea of ports of old ones.
Okay, that might be interesting then.
So that's the distinction.
Oh yeah, what they announced at Gamescom? They announced the Mario Kart thing, which I'm tilted about, honestly.
Yeah, I saw your essay on Twitter.
Which is kind of a pun, but like... Okay, so you use the Joy-Con car, and in order to drift, you have to floor it, like you floor the foot pedal, but in order to just normally accelerate, you have to keep it balanced at the middle. Which is like, God, imagine the strain on your fucking foot. Ugh. And then like, you use an item by beeping the wheel, but did they really not think about how dragging items is like the pinnacle point of that game? Because it is.
A, no, and B, they don't really care, because Nintendo don't care like how physically like aggravating their systems are. They will force you to use it. As seen with Super Mario Party.
Oh yeah, that's another thing for a bit later, but it's just like, I know like you don't have to use it, but I like tilt controls, so being able to use the Joy-Cons, which is essentially the same thing, or not Joy-Cons, the Toy-Cons, which is essentially the same thing, is just, it's like
2 taxis and 2 snipers all on me. Fuck off.
A kind of fun premise to me, so to just kind of see it be kind of shit is kind of annoying, even if I probably wasn't gonna get it anyway.
You won't go get it anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about that, huh? Super Mario Party is only supporting Joy-Cons, which I pretty much suspected right off the bat because they only showed Joy-Cons and the mini-games looked like they could only use Joy-Cons. Like, shake the... Oh, no, like the tricycle game where you have to, how do you even say it? Like, spin it on an axis or whatever. Like, that seemed like... you could do it with a Pro Controller. I guess I just did, but... Like, stuff like that. Like, shake it like a bottle.
The thing is, you could genuinely do any of the minigames in that with a Pro Controller. You just can. That's how far it goes.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I think some of them require you to point, too, and stuff.
You could just point with a Pro Controller. We're doing it right now.
There were some mini-games. No, I mean, like, on the screen, like a Wii remote.
We're doing it right now.
It's something, like, I don't remember, but something about at E3, I was looking at that game, combing it, and like there were some things that made me think there's no way a Pro Controller, like they're gonna do a Pro Controller for this. The thing that sucks is like I'm completely fine with Mario Party's motion control mini games. I actually think they're kind of fun, like when they did them in Mario Party 8, 9, 10, all that stuff. So, with the Joy-Cons for that, it's fine. I hate 1-2 switch, though, which is kind of funny. Well, really, it's more of a principle thing. But, the fact of the matter is, Mario Party also uses buttons. 1-2 switch doesn't use buttons. Well, it kind of does, right?
It does.
Okay, but, like, maybe that's why I hate it. I hate that game. Did I even talk about that?
You have talked about it.
Yes, Luke and his brother wanted me to play it, and I'm like, I hate 1-2 switch.
Did you play it?
Yes, and I hate it. And not even just the principle of them selling it for full price. That's just icing on the cake.
That's just shit, man.
But the fact of the matter is, we've established plenty of times that I hate the Joy-Con buttons. I hate them a lot. They're so small. They're so terrible. The sticks are so small. They're so terrible and nubby. It's just, I hate them. So, how many games in Super Mario Party utilize the buttons and stick? Because if it's a lot, or if it's a sizable amount, then I probably won't
be a lot.
I probably won't get the game because it's just not unplayable at that point.
No actual online play means I wasn't gonna get it anyway. So.
Yeah, it's also you have to play it sideways anyway. It's not like you can use 2 Joy-Cons. Well, maybe you can. I don't think so. No, it's like only sideways Joy-Con, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't even use like the Wii Remote Nunchuck kind of setup. It has to be the tiny sideways one.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, if you sell a bigger Joy-Con, that wouldn't go well with the public, but I mean, it'd be a solution. But like, if Super Mario Party was the best Mario Party game ever made, I'd probably drop like $20 or whatever on a bigger Joy-Con. But
it wouldn't be $20; it'd be like 80.
No, how much are Joy-Cons?
I mean, a Joy-Con pair is 70 quid.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, it's the same. Wait,
controls aren't cheap. Like, these things are like expensive bricks because Nintendo wants them.
Are you telling me that? Oh my God, Luke's brother has like 50 Joy-Cons and no Pro controllers, and I figured that's just
buying all the Joy-Cons, and he's been just spending all of his money on Joy-Cons.
Because I figured they were cheaper. I figured the my idea was the Pro controller is $70, and then the Joy-Cons are like $40.
Nah, the Joy-Cons are the same as or slightly higher than the Pro controller.
Okay. Wow. There's like really no reason to buy those things then. Oh my god, that's insane. Because that doesn't make any sense. They're smaller Pro controllers. Why would they be priced the same?
Well, I don't think they're completely like the smaller Pro controllers. I'm pretty sure they have like, because there's 2 of them, like there's more technology.
Wow,
and
you know, that kind of makes sense,
between them.
But they suck.
I don't think the Pro controller hasn't like their fucking like unused IR camera thing or whatever.
Oh right, no, it's used in 1-2 switch, Gavin.
Okay, well, like, you know, I don't think Pro controllers have that, for instance.
They don't. Yeah.
So yeah, like there's some weed bits in there that the Pro controllers don't have, but I don't feel like that completely justifies a higher price tag.
I mean, I don't know. I was like, you know, the Pro controller is as expensive as it is because there's so much shit in it. But yeah. I mean, how much is a DualShock? That has tilt controls and the touchpad that's never used.
50 quid? Like, it's close to the Pro controller price, slightly under.
I wonder if Nintendo's gonna do a price cut eventually. Like, okay, we take the money and run, and then.
I mean, if there's gonna be like a regular Switch price cut, it would be because there'll be a new Switch out.
Oh no, I mean for the controllers, you know.
No, absolutely not.
Hasn't that happened before though?
No.
I wonder if I'm thinking of something else.
Maybe in the sense that like GameCube controllers are 20 quid now, but you know, generally no. Hey, I got the Goose Goose launcher.
Wow, you better use it correctly. Yeah, it's just such a shame. Because, I mean, if the game did have online leaderboards, which I think it is, like, I'm set. I'll grind the shit out of them. But if WarioWare Gold had online leaderboards, then I'd be set, but I don't think it does. I still like that game regardless. I haven't played it, but I've seen it.
I haven't played it, but I want to.
It's just like a kind of full-price game.
Next on my docket was The Last Remnant.
Well, now hold the fucking phone. What other DLC did Nintendo announce? Because I know they announced more shit than that.
No, they didn't.
No, I remember now.
I'm not being like, oh, I don't want to talk about this anymore. No, they genuinely did.
No, they did. No, I remember Xenoblade 2. More blades or something. What's that thing called? Are they?
No, that's just the regular updates.
Is it?
That's not a special. That's not like a special announced GameCon only DLC. No, they've been just announcing that as like a schedule for a while now.
And how the fuck is Gamescom bigger than E3?
Because it has so much grander public attendance. There's just far more people at Gamescom than there ever are at E3. Like it's like
Hold on, Gavin,
literally
hold
a
on.
bigger show.
Okay, we're good. No, wait, no, we aren't.
No
Stop
one
moving!
no one is resurrecting.
I was trying. That's why I'm like, hold on, I gotta focus. So, I mean, people are happy about that DLC, I guess. There's so many characters.
In general, also Nintendo just doesn't respect Gamescom and never has.
Good. I don't respect them either.
Oh, yeah, because you're racist. Anyway, The Last Remnant. Square Enix's early Xbox 360 RPG that's also on Steam is being delisted from Steam on September 4th.
And I saw that you bought it.
It's only like £8. I didn't even know it was on Steam. Just fucking go get it. It's a decent ride.
You think so?
Yeah.
It has like mixed reviews and shit.
Yeah, but I played it and I thought it was a decent ride, so fuck off.
I thought that you got jebaited, like hard jebaited.
No, I own it on Xbox 360. I just don't want to dig out my 360.
I figured that their plan.
Tuned in that cupboard.
I figured their plan was this isn't selling at all. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna scare people into buying it by making it an exclusive thing, and also we aren't gonna put it on sale. Ha ha ha!
It's £8.
Idiots!
It's £8.
$10 is kind of a lot for some people.
$10.
They could have at least done 10% off, and they didn't. 10%? It's $1.
That's probably because this isn't. They're just delisting it because how we want money for a thing doesn't sell. They're probably delisting it because of some sort of licensing reason.
Well, maybe they're delisting it because Dragon Quest is coming out, and they want people. They want people to buy Dragon Quest instead. You see.
I mean, why would they buy it on PC when it's just on PS4, where it will fucking work automatically?
Because.
No, because
the computer's better.
Buy the version that works.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Is this gonna be like Bookworm Adventures, where it's just not gonna exist anywhere ever?
I mean, or is it still gonna there's like physical Xbox 360 copies everywhere.
Okay, that's fuck that. Fine, I'll buy your stupid fucking game. That's fucking stupid though. Fuck
I mean,
that.
you can be like fucking stupid if it's a licensing reason.
I know, I hate that. I hate it.
It's terrible, but it's not like they have any say in the matter.
You're just gonna remove a game from being played ever.
It's almost like they don't have a say in the matter because laws are shit.
This is like an extension of emulators.
It's not the first time like that's happened.
I know it's not the first time. Bookworm Adventures. Ah! But also
being entirely flat, I'm talking about licensing issues.
Magical.
EA doesn't want to sell a fucking video game anymore.
Magical Mickey game. What else? There was another one I knew. I forget what it is now though.
There was a PSP Fate Stay Night fighting game that Capcom actually localized and all, but they had to take it off of the PSN after a week.
That's
Scott Pilgrim's another one.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's just stupid, really.
There's licensing issues.
So fine, I'll buy your stupid game even though I'll never play it. I'll probably play it before other games I have in my Steam library anyway. I just feel like I'm gonna be fucking baited. They're baiting me. I hate
don't
that.
Buy it. I'm not saying.
No, Gavin, I have
I'm
to.
just saying as a PSA to people who might be interested.
Do you have the thing?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say I can't hear anything, so I can't even tell you.
No, I have Bomb Rush.
No, Gavin, it's too late. You already got me. It worked.
Yeah, that's the thing. Last Remnant, I think, is a decent video game. It does interesting things. It doesn't do all of them right, but it's decent. And then I've got like two somewhat meaty topics.
They at Gamescom.
One is a follow-up to, sort of a follow-up to something the last time I was on. And the other, it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about like the last time you did a solo stream of this, which I
no.
I'm like, what?
The last time I was on one of these streams.
You made that sound like I did like 5 solo streams before this one.
I was being specific in case you thought like, hey, was it something I said? And I was like no, it's something like I said last time. Anyway, and the other one is about Crunchyroll's like original.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I have nothing to do this afternoon, so you know what? Let's run it.
Alright, so which one do you want to hear first?
Wait, actually, hold on. It's 5:30. The crackheads start coming out at 7. I think we could still do it. I mean, Max Myers told me not to go outside after like 7:30. So
that's very concerning. Why does he live there?
Well, Gavin, why do you think I was, anxious about it? Imagine just living conditions, but once again, this is like an hour away from where we both live, or he used to live. So I don't know why Philadelphia, but whatever. I think we can do it.
Alright.
I want to take the dog out one more time, though.
I mean, that can be relatively quick.
No, I don't think it's that bad. I was just looking at the time just in case, because time escapes me.
I mean, we absolutely won't be here in 2 hours from here. So, we'll do the Crunchyroll one's faster, so we'll do that one. So Crunchyroll announced like their first original show, and so like the reaction to it has been tepid.
There's like shit on both sides.
This is a. Okay, like the immediately obvious one is that the trailer put a lot of focus on how like, the creators are mostly women, and you know what that means. That means screeching tiny children come out and say, "But my agenda."
There's like that, and then like they all have like colored hair and stuff. So
they look like the living personification of comedy.
They do,
but...
and that's why like a lot of people are angry about that as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I you know what? I don't really care.
I don't give a shit about what they look like. Like, fucking Ren and Stimpy was made by an active pedophile. That happens. Alright? I saw some, like, one of those fucking lunatics say, oh, your kids are watching this. Like, don't let them watch it.
Wait,
like, I watched the show. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Your man has been, like, outed as, like, a pedophile.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, not at all. it's fucked up. But, yeah, like, when I saw someone, like, try to do that moral skirt thing, like, these people are making shows for your kids. I'm like, when I was a kid.
Yeah, but that's... It's not bad. Like, Ren and Stimpy did some actual bad things, I think. I don't think this... Like, Steven Universe doesn't do anything bad.
I mean...
Other than sometimes being boring enough for me to not watch it.
Other than being, like, a flawed show, but that's not, like, morally bad. But, yeah, no, like, my issue with it isn't so much, like, because all that shit's terrible. Like, main issue, like, on my end, is that, A, Crunchyroll's a trash fire, and B, the way they presented it kind of shot it in the foot. I'm not talking about, like, we're putting aside, like, the fucking raving, like, right-wing lunatics, because they don't fucking matter.
Are you talking about the people, are we also putting aside the people who are, like, cow arts shit?
Yeah, we're putting aside that as well.
Okay. Because that argument has already been made so much with the She-Man show. What's that called again?
I don't remember. I know the one you're on about, but I don't remember. Yeah. I saw people saying, like, this was a treasured show of my childhood. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. But,
like, no.
That's already been done to death. I'm like, I don't care, you know?
But, no, what I'm talking about is, like, the way they presented it was their trailer for it didn't actually say what the show was about.
Wait, there was a trailer?
There was a trailer. This is like what all like the the footage of the creators and shit came from.
Oh.
That all the lunatics are screaming about, because most of it was just that. It was like photos of like the creators talking about how they're really good. They're like, well, we have a very diverse like group of people working on this. I don't know if I'm but the thing is, they didn't actually say what it's about.
At
show
all?
Anything about what? Not. I mean, they show like some silent footage of like the characters running about, but
there's no plot.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, is it a magical girl show? Is it just a show about like a group of like magic students in a fantasy world? Yeah, I don't know. They didn't say, and they still haven't said.
Okay, that's dumb.
Most of the trailer was literally just focusing on the people who made it, and instead of like showing anything about the show itself. And this is kind of like. I mean, I feel like this, like, from a purely technical standpoint, this is probably not the best way to advertise your show or announce it when you don't actually show us anything from the show.
See, I thought when you said the part that bothers me, you were going to talk about the actual controversy, which is the fact that Crunchyroll streams and translates anime. And...
Getting to that, because that is one that.
Well, I mean, we should have opened with that, honestly.
We probably should have, but I wanted to get that wee bit out of the way because it's just like. There is legitimate criticisms of this trailer, just by it on like its own merits. Like I think divided from its creators, and
Yeah, if another company was making it or something.
if another company made it and did it the exact same way, it would still have this problem where it's like, you just flat out didn't show us the show. And like that's kind of like you kind of wrong-footed yourself. And now people are going to be inherently think down on it before it even gets out of the gate because it's this is this show where the creators love themselves or whatever.
Yeah, like I've only seen the promo image, so I don't actually know. I mean, I guess it looks kind of cute,
I mean, it has like technical merit. Like the background art, for instance, is fucking detailed as hell. Like weirdly so. But and like, you can tell from that trailer they did show that everyone on it does genuinely love it and they're putting the work in. It's just kind of like, well, you could have showed us your work instead.
Or at least interspliced it in. And
someone made a good point where like, yeah, like if you had shown like this would have been perfectly fine and even great if you had shown it in addition to stuff about the show itself. Like it's not that having this stuff at all is bad. It's just that without actual meaty content on the show itself, this is just kind of a void.
I mean, you know how these usually go. It's like the show's about blah blah blah, and then it shows like apart from the first episode where the plot kicks off. Like just do something like that.
They should have done that, but they didn't at all. They just showed like behind the scenes work footage mostly.
Concept art, everyone's favorite thing.
Yep, lots of concept art and character sheets.
Everyone loves that. That's what gets Kickstarters made.
I mean, that's what made me back Little Witch Academia too. Besides the fact that I watched it.
Talking about Crunchyroll show, yeah.
And then we get to like the shittier half of it, and that is Crunchyroll itself. Crunchyroll itself is a fucking trash fire of a company who have never done anything good. That's just a fucking given. There's no arguing about this. People go like, oh, they support the anime industry. They don't. Like most of the money like they make from like the subscriptions, they keep. They just do. They've boasted once by like that we have contributed $100 million to the anime industry, but then you actually look at the breakdown of the figures and you realize there's like that's across like a decade, like a 10-year span. Yeah, we just hate women in
Yep.
And it's when you here's the thing. So that's like an average. I retweeted a thread of someone doing like rough numbers of that. We're like, all right, 10 million a year. What does that actually equal? And here's a little important tidbit. The average anime series, like a completely standard, like no frills, no special animation, 12, 13 episode long anime season, that costs $1 million up front, just by itself. That's before promos, before anything else. 10 million like contribution a year, that's fucking peanuts in this industry that produces like 30 shows a season. Yeah. So like the number, like what Crunchyroll contributes to the anime industry as a whole is fucking nothing. Netflix, with its like just cursory, like it has like a bunch of licensed shows and it like actually funds some original stuff. Because they have like $8 billion to throw around, just by sheer number, they are already contributing more to the anime industry than Crunchyroll has done in that across an entire decade.
Which is funny because
Netflix barely give a shit.
That's what
and they barely give a
is.
Yeah. Like it's fucking tragic, and this would be less of a problem if Crunchyroll and its staff and its fanboys weren't so extremely militant and just like if you ever imply that you use a streaming site that you are the worst scum of the earth, you're contributing to the death of anime, you are the problem with all anime. Like they front this shit, they like really reinforce this shit. The guy who like made Crunchyroll goes and actively gets into Twitter fights with anyone who mentions horrible subs. Because he's a big shit flinging baby. And the thing is, if you pay for Crunchyroll, you're supporting anime, you're a fucking twat. Yeah, basically. You're thinking wrong. Yeah, entirely. Like, but people do think that. And you'll see like a lot of people go like, you have to support the official stuff, buy a Crunchyroll subscription. It's like, no. If you want to support the original stuff like that, you just fucking buy the Japanese Blu-rays, you piece of shit. I have. As I look to my Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel movie one. But
okay, whatever, Gavin.
Goddamn good limited edition though. It's fucking fancy. But it has English subtitles, it's region free. But yeah, like people, like Crunchyroll are like a fucking trash fire, and that's the other side of this. They basically just revealed to the world that they have gathered enough money to be able to make their own original productions, which means they're probably not paying a lot into the actual industry they claim to support. which was always kind of known, but not as like tangible fucking proof.
Like visual proof. Like for anyone who didn't really know, like me, like this is like before even reading comments, I was like, hold on.
Like this, like a streaming site would not have the money to like do this if they're licensed like 10 shows like every season or whatever, or more. Like you wouldn't have the fucking money on hand to make an entire original production. And like I forget the show's name, but the original show, like this isn't some wee cheap house shit thing either. Like the background art, for instance, is insanely detailed. Like there's like fucking money going in here. Like you see people with like full on like drawing tablet, like powerful PC setups for rendering and all that shit. And they've got like full recording studios that are presumably in a Crunchyroll office because like they have access to it for like footage and shit. So like I'm assuming like they've been like building all this up for like some time now. And like basically just like don't like genuine like if you want to support a creator like genuinely an anime studio, like you just fucking like genuinely just buy the merch, buy the figures, buy the merchandise. Yeah, you know, like you like it doesn't contribute that much, but you would genuinely be supporting them more by buying like a licensed Blu-rays than you would by paying Crunchyroll. They still don't get a lot of cut out of that, but they get more than they would out of Crunchyroll. And if you're just buying straight from Japan, like buy from like AmiAmi, buy from CD Japan, like buy your Blu-rays there, buy your figures there, buy your art books, whatever the fuck, do all that. That actually goes back into the studios, like a lot. Like that's like a lot of anime studios, basically all of them only ever make their money off of merchandise and Blu-ray sales. None of them actually make money off the show runs, because it's just like the economics of it are kind of fucked. So, you know, that's your PSA. Crunchyroll is shit fire. Do not like buy a subscription to them. Genuinely, you should not feel guilty at all about just like fucking watching the horrible subs version on a streaming site or download and then like actually buying the Blu-rays or whatever supports. That's more support than you would give them by buying Crunchyroll. That is my PSA to you. So yeah, Crunchyroll is shit house. And the series, like again, it's sad because like the creators and all that look like they genuinely love this show. Like whatever its faults and flaws or whatever, they look like they're having like. The people in there look like they're putting the fucking work in. Like again, the art's detailed, the wee bits of animation we did see looked nice. From here, you could not say if this was just like a malign thing or whatever. This looks like a passion project. People are doing the effort. It's just a shame that it had to come from Crunchyroll. Like it's been kneecapped twice over basically. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to go down like a trash fire. So yeah, that's my lot. Did you follow the call again, or
no?
Okay. Just making sure. I couldn't even hear background noise.
That's weird because I have no noise gate.
I hear background noise on my end because I hear shit out my window. It's good that the Toaster Man brought up hitting women and minorities because that is a theme in the next follow-up too, which is Cyberpunk 2077, and this is not me saying that the devs are shit. This is me going to be defending them.
Wow, Gavin.
Because we've got that thing I said would happen, like when we were last talking about this one, like, you know, like games journals and the public are going to say, oh, like CD Projekt are like fucking Nazis, they hate trans people and all that. Wait, it gets happening. I'm not even talking about just Twitter. We got our first official attack article today. Eurogamer posted an interview with I forget his name, but he's like the senior quest designer. I just want to stress that part. Senior quest designer, right? That's his role in the thing. That's what he does. He designs the quests. Just tuck that one away. Oh, Christ. So, right. Eurogamer put out an interview today from like Tom Phillips, their news editor, who I just want to establish very quickly is a bearded white British man. Just want to point that out. So, like, basically the attack article is the most unsubtle fucking thing possible. Like, in a summary, it's basically him trying to fish out a square quote about CD Projekt Red hating women, hating gender fluid people specifically. Like, it is the most blatant and disgusting and stupid thing I've seen in a while come out of games media. It's like the most pathetically obvious attempt to try and like fish controversy out of this by someone who could very obviously, like, if the tweet didn't happen, wouldn't consider any of this shit at all. Like, none of this would come to his mind. He would never have given a fuck in his entire life about it. But because there is, he smells money in the air, so he's doing it. I am completely unabashed in saying that because that's exactly what it is, and I can prove it because I fucking wrote up a breakdown of this article because it is exactly like a summary breakdown because it is exactly the same like pattern that all games media attack articles take, because they always take a very distinctive pattern with the same tactics, same methods, same behavior, because it's always basically the same people. And I have that here to rant about if you care to hear it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should have told me to read the article first, so that I could
probably
actually be on a page, not just the same page, but a page.
If you want to stare at it while we're here.
Not really.
But I do want to talk about it anyway. So like, basically, like the gist of the article is this: it opened like, the article is like an interview ostensibly with a senior quest designer, and his whole point, like, because it's coming off of the heat of this tweet, the first like 50-60% of the interview is literally about gender fluid people and gender fluid options in Cyberpunk 2077. But like, it's all phrased in a way distinctly to try and catch this guy out and try and get a quote out of him. Like, there's leading questions, there's like assertions that the game has like committed moral faults already, shit like that. You know, like, we'll open, like, for instance, like when the article opens, like the first paragraph is like, you know, the standard vague phrases. It's a revolutionary world RPG, CDPR, make all big RPGs that have like lots of choices and all. Immediate segue into implying mechanical failure on the dev's part. This is the important part. You assert from the outset the developers have committed wrong. Like, but you can't just be like a moral wrong or the wrong you personally take issue with. You have to assert that they've committed wrongs that matter to them or their fans or to other people. So you can just generally paint them as a bad person or like a bad studio. In this case, the our author makes two assertions. One, he talks about, because it's the same demo that was at E3, right? It's like it's the exact same demo as at E3. The only change is now you can pick if you want to be like a male character or a female character. It's like female only in E3 demo. And he assert, like one of the first assertions he makes is that there is a choice of, what was the exact quote? I have it written down here. A very different dialogue choice ends in the same result, but then, you know, like the idea is like there's an important dialogue choice at the end of the demo, or as he asserts that's important. He doesn't actually say what it is. He doesn't give any real context beyond the fact that there's some sort of confrontation of a gang, and despite picking an option that says you don't want to fight, they fight you anyway. And apparently that's some sort of hideous moral wrong, and like apparently that's a proof that they are not letting you have the choice you're meant to have in a CDPR game. That's what it's trying to imply. Like, when, you know, really it could just be that when you're facing a gang, you have no choice but to fight because they're a fucking gang. They've decided they hate you and they want you to die, but, you know, he doesn't point any of this out, he doesn't say any of this, he doesn't give us any grander context beyond there is a gang and you have to fight. And like I don't like get it. Oh, like if outside of like the context of trying to make CDPR look bad and trying to imply that, you know, Cyberpunk 2077 is falling from the path, like there's no way to take that as anything other than just, well, that's a thing that happens. Fucking dying all over the place here as I try and read these notes. So he never actually says what the situation is. So like the goal is to assert that they are failing at what they set out to do. Because usually what they do is make big grand RPGs with lots of choices that create like action matter. And Witcher 2, for instance, is basically two different games depending on what your choice is, because the path varies that much. But the other assertion he makes is also that because it's the exact same demo as E3, he then goes on to say, like, this prompts questions, as in this is very suspicious. Why would this game have the exact same demo 2 months later? Just 2 months, I want to point that out, because E3 was only 2 months ago. And yeah, he asserts that's very strange, implies like the implication is something is going odd in development. Why are they not showing more of the game? When the reality is, this demo is now being shown at Gamescom, where hundreds of thousands of the public can play it. Like, most of them won't have seen the E3 demo. None of them will have played it. Using it again, it only makes fucking sense, but you know, the point is to try and make CDPR look terrible, so he implies that this is some sort of feeling on their part. Like, you can see where this is going, basically. This is just like an article to try and A, shit all over them because some PR rep or whoever the fuck just decided to make like a really shit, awful joke. And presumably been fired. Why did I have to get this Splatoon-matic on this? I don't even have the thing.
Should call it its actual name.
I forget what name we gave it.
The enlarged prostate gun. Hey, can you protect me? Protect me.
Where are you? Where are you?
At the basket, of course.
I'm here.
Gavin, protect me. Gavin, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm shooting cohawks over there. I can't reach this without jumping. Ah, come on, give me a grenade back. But yeah, where am I? So after like trying to basically assert that they implicate them in like a mechanical or a game failure, it's like sometimes they're going wrong in the past. Follows it up by linking in his actual issue, which is the tweet. And the way he does this is by saying that he references like there was a mild controversy around E3 where people were like, this game isn't a real Cyberpunk game because it has daytime scene. Well, I guess the belief is Cyberpunk stuff can only ever take place in like dirty, dingy, foggy nights. I guess. Like whatever. Like people who were saying that at E3 were deemed generally as to be fucking idiots. But the article like relies on like this, but it doesn't mention what the controversy was. It just says that fans feel this is going like wrong. This is straying from the themes and like genuine feel of Cyberpunk the RPG. So appealing to like a general mass, like the authority of the fans to try and give his point some legitimacy. And yeah, oh fuck, of course it would be me. Alright. The game does not want me to continue my round. But yeah, like he specifically brings up at this point, like Cyberpunk has a core theme of transhumanism, which is only somewhat true. Cyberpunk as a whole genre usually does have transhumanism as a theme, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a core theme. For instance, like Syndicate is like the game Syndicate is a really good Cyberpunk game because it's all about like mad corporations and a technological future going fucking nuts, and just having free reign. Like governments don't bother restraining them anymore; they just commit like actual war crimes against each other. No transhumanism in that series. It doesn't need it because the whole point is corporate power gone nuts, which is pretty much the actual heart theme of Cyberpunk as a genre. Whatever. I will continue my rant in a moment whenever I can stop being assaulted. Oh, they stopped chasing me. They knocked me down and then just stopped chasing me. So like after that it gets into like the main interview, and like the very like first thing he does is like tell the senior quest designer, man, I hate the fact that there's no choice at the end of this quest. Like is there going to be more choices in the game? And basically open it on like a negative foot, try and put the developer on the back foot. And the developer immediately says, well, yeah, there will be. It's just a demo at this point. And this is going to be a recurring theme where he keeps asking the developer questions. The developers go, well, yeah, it's still in development. Because the interview as a whole, outside of the author's crusade, doesn't actually have anything of worth. It's just the developers over and over again saying it's still in development, sure. And again, the point is, like, this is the senior quest designer. His whole thing is making quests. He doesn't know about like the wider game structure. He doesn't know about other shit. He just makes the quests. But we'll get into that more. The author, after asking that one question, immediately just segues into the the thrust of it, like trying to get him to say stuff about like gender fluid and transgender people. So, like it's shit. Like one of the questions was, And this actually kind of betrays his. The thing I was talking about earlier, where like this man wouldn't have given a single fuck about this topic at all in this game if this controversy didn't happen, and then he smelled blood in the water. Where like, and this is like a direct quote. He asked the question, "I didn't write it down when watching, but are your character body options labeled male and female on the character creation screen?" Which, like, if you give a shit about this topic, you would have written that down. You would have paid attention and noticed that.
Also, it's not controversial.
No, it's not, because like no one gives
It's
this fuck whatever.
Every other game,
Mass Effect did it. So no one gives a fuck when Skyrim does it. No one gives a fuck when any other game does it. But because that one tweet exists, he's not going to try and pull a gotcha on this guy and use it to say CDPR as a whole hates the gender fluid people. The other, like, it's like a very telling question again, because he didn't give a shit. Like, his is him just admitting he didn't give a fuck until he smelt the chance to get some controversy out of this. Because he outright says, "I didn't write it down." He didn't give a fuck until now. Like, if they did just say male and female and this didn't happen, he wouldn't have noticed, he wouldn't have cared. The other leading question I had written down was, if someone wanted to choose a character who was gender fluid, how would you portray that? Which is, the implication is you haven't done this, you fuckers, so how would you do it? And also, trying to basically say, like, put the onus on him and say, like, well, how would you do it? Like, how would you actually handle this? And so if he fucks up and doesn't say it exactly the way the guy wants him to say it, scare quote. But my entire life, you have an egg, get it in. Let's see, where am I? After, like, those two questions, the author was abandoned all subtly at that point, like, if there was any before. So at that point, he starts asking shit like, does the character creator have options for, like, choosing your character's pronouns? Right? Which is, like, regardless of whether it does or not, and, the question of how you would implement that into, like, a massive voiced game, I don't know. It's like, there was a recent game that read-only memories, such as visual novel. That was like a text-only thing, so we could pull it off because it was text. But a game with, like, lots of voice shit, that's gonna be, unless you use, like, a generic third pronoun that, just like they or their, which people may not like or whatever. What do you do? But even putting that aside, why would the senior quest designer know that if the game's still white? Like, why would he know that? That's not his job. That's not what he does. You might ask, well, how wouldn't he know? But the thing about software development is that inherently, it's very segmented. Like, my boss in work, like, he's been at this job working on this same networking software for 10 fucking years. He still has to turn around and ask other people, hey, what does this bit of the software do? That's been there, like, one of the core features that's been there for years. He's asked, how does this actually work? Because he's never worked on it, because that's never been his job until now. It's like shit like that. Like, it's intensely segmented stuff. Why would the senior quest designer know this? So he wouldn't care about this because it's not in his immediate purview on the job. He wouldn't know, he wouldn't care. So he doesn't need to know, because especially if it does have these options, like, for most quests, pretty much all of them are just going to be agnostic towards that. Like, they're just going to design to accept anyone no matter what. So he doesn't actually have to give a shit about who you are when designing it. Beyond, like, your player skills. Like, your character's, like, makeup, whatever, doesn't actually matter to him. But, the author still tries to push the point anyway, and, like, there was a point where, like, the guy, like, he, like, asked the guy, says, like, well, that's why he picked, like, a character name of just V, because V is, like, a, that name can be, like, a male or, like, a female character, and then before he could continue on to say anything, author immediately interrupts and goes, and gender fluid characters? And it's just kind of like, you could have let him finish and said that, but you didn't, because you were assuming he was going to forget it. But you were just jumping down his fucking throat at that point. And at that point, it's very clear that the author realizes he's not getting shit out of this guy on this topic. Like, the guy doesn't know, doesn't care, just keeps giving generic dodge answers, whatever. He doesn't give a shit. He's not his job. He designs the quests. He doesn't make the characters or anything. But, this man was like, well, I gotta ram this guy about it because he's the only one I have on hand. So the rest of the interview is just like generic surface level questions about like, you know, the setting detail or like, do player skills do things? Like the cyber psychosis, so, like, is that going to matter to players? And they're like, yeah, but we haven't actually designed how that's going to work yet. And it's like great. You could have asked stuff about the game structure, like, well, fuck me. You could have asked stuff about the game structure. You could have asked about quests, like how they're going to work. You could have asked like, you could have like compared it to like past games they made to say, is this going to be like The Witcher 3 hard quests, like how like interact with each other in like unpredictable ways. Didn't do any of that. Didn't ask the quest designer anything about quests. He just kept asking him about character design shit and kept like, you know, the gender stuff because that's the hot topic, and all he wanted to do was like rip controversy out of this so he could milk it. Like it's just like it was just a disgusting article in general. Like more options in an RPG is always good, and it's not even like the point isn't even any of that shit. It's just like this is the point of this is literally just this fucking asshole who didn't give a shit. He didn't care. He didn't give a fuck about any of this or any of the people this affected at all. He would never have given a shit, except he smelled blood in the water. He smelled the controversy, and he tried to milk it. Like he jumped on it. He tried to fucking milk it, and that's just sickens me. That's like this guy is a fucking cunt. He's a piece of shit, and I honestly expected better from Eurogamer because they usually do good shit. They're usually not like Kotaku Polygon tier ambulance chasing stuff, but here we are. Like, it's just like fuck off, you know. Okay, I've finished my rant.
You take constructive. Yeah, fuck. Never mind. It's over.
What?
I was gonna say, do you take constructive criticism?
Yeah, go for it.
It fucking sucked. That's not that's not constructive criticism.
No. Oh, I assume that was the truth. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just shit like that that gets on my nerves. It's like the thing with like games media is often like it's that. Like it's never about like fucking. It's never about the people themselves of the games. Like I've gone all about this before when I like wrote the blog post about difficult games, and that was a controversy game where like there was this one post from like I think Waypoint or whatever, where like the author, a perfectly able-bodied white bearded man living in San Francisco on like a decent wage, ranted out length about how Dark Souls 3 was ableist because he couldn't beat it by himself. Ergo, disabled people absolutely couldn't beat it at all because he couldn't do it. They mustn't be able to. They're inherently worse than him.
Well, is there any evidence of a disabled person beating Dark Souls 3?
Yes.
Well, there we go.
It was like, it was the sort of thing of like, that's like in a world where like one of the top Street Fighter players in the world literally plays the game with his fucking face because he can't use his hands. Like saying like, oh, disabled people are inherently worse, and because I, like a perfectly able-bodied person, couldn't do it, means this game is ableist and needs to be easier, is just revealing that you are a selfish and awful fucking person. And you know, Games Media regularly does this shit, and it's like it's just, you know, waved off or ignored or whatever, and I fucking hate it. Fucking cunts, all of them. And it's, I'm just saying, it's always a white guy. He's always able-bodied. He always has a beard. I'm just fucking saying.
You have a beard.
I do, and I'm also white. And I'm straight. It's how I know. It's how I know they're fuck hard. They're just fucking try-hard pieces of shit. Oh. Anyway, I'm done. Okay.
Are you?
Yes. And another. No.
Are you sure that was a joke?
I'm sure.
You...
Yes. You can talk again, Chris. You're welcome on your own stream.
I mean, well, hey, you're streaming too, so. I mean, usually I'm all right with it because, you know, like I usually say, I didn't even know Cyberpunk existed at all.
Yeah.
So you know, not only did I not read the article, but I also know nothing about the game. So it's definitely not my wheelhouse. But if
You can
I
basically assume, like, you've seen Witcher 3, it's probably not gonna be that different.
if I could give
It's in first
constructive
person.
criticism,
Yes.
I would say that it's probably not a good idea to, you know, compose a 7-paragraph essay
Yes.
solo
I know,
when I'm also on the stream.
Yes.
Because usually these are a lot shorter, and I feel like that probably could have been a lot shorter too.
Probably could have didn't get much chance.
Because it kind of just boils down to like a few points. Don't really need specifics to.
I mean, I wanted to make it specific. That was the thing. I wanted to be like a bricked on. It's like here's the pattern of the spot. Like it's always like they always do the same thing. It's always like open with vague praise, then imply a greater fault so that your own point seems better, basically.
Can you hear that?
The dog barking?
Yeah. Oh, that answers that. I mean, as long as you couldn't hear the music before, then...
I don't think so.
Imagine living in the city and then just having your stream muted because someone outside was playing or was blasting copywritten music.
I mean, I would just not give a shit at that point. Yep, that's my lot. It's just shit, you know? It's just always shit. Why are there so many taxis? Please help. We both have the same gun. We more or less have the same gun. Two snipers.
Yeah. Someone could kill this taxi. That would be great.
Unfortunately,
Wow,
I've been killed by a taxi.
great reviving there. Oh my god.
Oh, great.
Snipers are only good on event waves.
Well, I mean, it would be nice if we didn't have two of them on a wave like this.
I can still fix this. Wait, we can still do this, can't we? Oh no, never mind.
No, we almost did.
That would have been insane.
21.
What?
I don't think has it ever been that high before?
Yeah.
I've never noticed. Christ. We should just like die our way back down to 200. I want to go back to when we just kept winning.
And we just be back in 300.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
And then probably 400 again in short order.
Alright. I guess I'll
still
vote
not-
fork.
I'm still not used to having like not having to walk forward after leaving. I keep holding forward before realizing.
I think I did the same thing too.
So much clothing I will never use. I'm not at like 9 million. I will never use any. I wish I could use this for chunks or something.
You know how it is.
Alright. What's next on your agenda?
I don't know. Taking the dog out and then finding something to do for the night, maybe.
Escaping the crackheads.
Yeah, I was thinking, like Max has a PS4, and I was just like, well, I do kind of want to get maybe back into Monster Hunter World, so maybe I could just
Do you have
unlock.
it with you?
What?
Do you have it with you?
Well, it should be around here somewhere.
Alright.
But
Because if you have the game, you can just log into your own account on this PS4.
no, that's not the point. The point is that I don't want to play on my own account.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking maybe I could just like go through, start kind of near the beginning of the game and just unlock every or you know, as many insect waves as I can. And just build insect waves for him, because why not? I don't know about that though. I've just kind of gone through most of my stream backlogs. What's next? Salmon run. Oh no, it's locked behind the main window. Well, that's unfortunate.
On my end, the next one is.
All right, wait, I forgot. I'm a fucking idiot. You could just go like this. Hello. Right, Monday. That's it.
Are you okay?
Yeah. It's Monday, which is good because I'll be back home. So thank God.
Yay.
Can't wait to maybe get in a car accident on the way home. On the bright side, at least I know I could stay in the right lane. The problem is that I have to like merge onto 5 different highways on the way home instead of just having one fucking highway. It's hell. Why?
You say like 5 highways, you mean like
You're on one highway and then you take a like turn off of it and then it just puts you on another highway.
it's amazing.
And then you take the turn off of that highway and then it puts you on another highway. Oh my god, and then you take one exit, go into a not highway for like 5 minutes, and then you go back onto another highway. I'm like,
It's some impressive road design.
I mean, I really don't want to. I don't want to drive home. Should have just been like, hey, mom, please drive me there. But whatever. So that'll be that. Go Team Spoon as far as popularity goes. Woo!
You think so?
No, that's just me saying I hope it's more popular so that I win.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Sea snails actually have a purpose. Did you vote in the last Splatfest?
I voted, yeah.
Okay, just making sure, because there are other times where you just
I
don't vote.
didn't play it because it's like, well, I don't want to do all the things on my gigantic backlog of tasks.
Like an actual shithead. Alright. Thanks for coming out. I don't have an...
died for like a second there for some reason.
Alright, I don't have an overlay. God damn it.
Alright. Oh, he's going robot again.
Oh, that's even better because this is the outro. So, you know what? Whatever. Oh, I heard a Windows voice connected. Is that basic? Oh, okay, whatever. You know what?
Am I dying on your end?
No, I was dying on your end though. Windows did a thing, but since the main window or since the main monitor's Splatoon, I can't see it.
Ah, okay.
Computers, but yeah, basically, I'm Christmas95 on Twitch, where I stream live, and YouTube, where all the VODs are uploaded if you miss any or want to see a VOD from a year ago or something. And I'm on Twitter. That's pretty much my main area, where you can hear me make a few tweets about some of the things I talk about more extensively on here, usually. And, oh god, Gavin's, it's been so long since I've actually said it. He's Pocket Belt on Twitter. He's Pocket Belt on Twitch. And then, for some reason, his YouTube is Mediocre Goonery, which, you know, you gotta plug that in and then hope it comes up. So that's the skinny. That's how it goes. So thanks for coming out. And I will see you guys on Monday with hopefully better sound quality and shit.